Hello, wildlife lovers, and welcome back to the 7th and the last episode of Jawai 2021 series. In the previous episode, we completed our morning safari. The conditions were overcast and the light was far from perfect for videography. The evening went similar. We went around these lava mountain rocks, but nothing good happened. We didn't see any leopards, and because of the weather, could not do a lot of videography as well. But we still enjoyed our evening safari. It was one of those safaris where you can keep your camera aside and simply engage into a healthy conversation about wildlife with your driver. These hills have a history behind them, a history which goes back to the time when there were no safaris, no hotels and resorts. Just these hills, the leopards and the beautiful landscape. Jawai's earliest mention goes back just a few decades ago to pre-independence when Maharaja Umaid Singh of Jodhpur constructed the Jawai Dam in 1946. The nearby villages constantly faced a threat of floods, and monsoons brought more misery than luck. And with the construction of this dam, the place nurtured rich biodiversity. The flora and fauna of Jawai is not just iconic to see, but also a unique one. Landscapes like these are only found in this region of Rajasthan. Like, look at this rock on the left. It looks like a big human skull. And all these are naturally placed here. So if you get some time this monsoons, go to Jawai for a different experience. Anyway, the tiger reserves are all closed, and until October, Jawai is a good weekend getaway. With more than 400 crocodiles and 50 plus leopards, the ecosystem here is perfectly balanced. The bird species and migratory birds add to its essence by visiting every year. In fact, many people visit Jawai just for these birds. In Jawai, there is a famous temple on one of these mountain rocks, and every morning the priest would walk to the temple unguarded and unarmed. They do not even carry a stick in their hand, and we all know how active the big cats are early in the morning. That is their time to move and hunt. And yet, till today, not even a single incident has been reported of a leopard attacking a priest or a villager in Jawai. It is believed that the locals here share a deep understanding with the leopards, and this relationship has been nurtured over the years by constantly giving each other the space and not interfering with the business of one another. The leopard's main source of food here is the stray dogs. These stray dogs already pose a problem for the villagers because of their increasing numbers. Leopards help to keep their population in control and thus saves the villagers from various diseases like rabies. And the other source of food is the cattle, but usually not the ones which are part of the herd. The cows which cannot milk anymore or are left to roam in these hills become the target of leopards. Sometimes the leopard stalks the herd of sheep or cows, but incidents of attack are really low. If I recall my childhood, when I read in books about Rajasthan, the first thing that I could imagine is the desert area. And the king of this desert area is this animal, a camel. Camels are one of the key domestic animals in Rajasthan and form a part of majority of the families here. But there is a common myth about camels I want to burst today: the hump on the back. All our childhood, we learned that camel stores water in its hump. The immediate imagination is that his hump has a sac inside which can hold water. But that's not entirely true. The hump is actually made of fat, which the camel can convert into energy and water. The reason why they survive in harsh desert weather is because they do not sweat at all. They save body fluids in whichever way possible, and this helps them travel to far off distances in crazy desert summers. So these domestic animals form an integral part of Jawai's biodiversity. A lot of people don't know, but the Jawai Hills are key grazing spot for these sheep and cattle. Free of cost, it offers the survival to these animals as well as the villagers. So the next day was luckily, as you all can see, sunny. It is rightly said, if you want to enjoy in the wild, the monsoon season is great. The chilled winds, the clouds, and the beauty all around, and of course, the happy animals. But if you want to capture great moments in the wild, you need the sun. Only when the light hits these beautiful creatures is when the camera does justice to what you see with your naked eyes. You see how that crocodile is resting on the island? The birds all around are not scared of crocodiles. They would go as close as 1 feet distance to them, and yet the crocodile would not attack most of the time. The primary source of food for crocodile here is the fishes, and sometimes if a lost cattle or dog comes to drink water, they might become an easy target too. Another highlight from our trip were these 4 sarus cranes. They spent some time together and then flew away like giant dinosaurs in the sky. We wish we could capture that flight, but unfortunately it all happened very quickly. A little further, we saw that the langur monkeys had come down the hill and were resting on the ground. The reason was that Chivta was out of her cave with her cubs. Look at how adorable this cub is. He got a little intimidated seeing all the jeeps, but soon his brother joined him, and together they forgot about us and started playing like young brothers. Cubs, just like human children, are epitome of innocence and happiness. And if you really want to see leopard cubs in the wild, Jawai is the perfect place. The locals here are the ones providing the safari, and they are always aware of where the cubs are found. In our 2 days here, we found the cubs thrice. Because of the dam here, Jawai is a stopover for many migratory birds. If you have been into bird watching, you must have heard about the famous Bharatpur Sanctuary. Now known as Keoladio National Park, it is a great bird sighting sanctuary in Rajasthan. But the landscape is very different. There is a straight road and you have to take a rickshaw to find the birds. But here the view is better and the landscape is much more open. Also, the jeeps help in moving to far off distances quickly, which gives you more options of birding. So we spent our last morning here simply observing the nature and rich biodiversity of Jawai. Usually on our last safaris in different parks, we settle down and just try to take in all we can. As exciting as the first safari is, equally saddening and heartbreaking is the last one. But what to do? Such is the addiction of the wild. Jawai is one place where you would constantly see our national bird on ground closer to your jeep. These peacocks keep wandering these lands looking for food. It is not uncommon to find them on top of the hills, but Jawai surprises everyone because the branches of the tree here is not for the birds, but for the big cats who rule these hills. You must have seen pictures and videos of leopards on tree. Now today, watch a leopard on a branch. Another leopard pair playing in their sub-adulthood days. And notice our angle here. The leopards are already on a hill and we are capturing them from a top angle, meaning we are further up the hill. This level of shot is only possible in Jawai. If you also want to visit Jawai and experience luxury safaris with the leopards, reach out to us. We have recently partnered with the best in Jawai to offer great hospitality and exclusive leopard sightings to you all. You can email us for details, drop a comment or WhatsApp us directly. So with this, we want to end our Jawai series. Next up is the series on Bap of all tiger reserves. Any guesses which one will it be? Stay tuned to find out. And yes, if you have not already, please subscribe to our channel Discover Wild Paws for more such wildlife content. As the sun goes down, we wish all our wildlife lovers goodbye.